Hello, sweetness. Welcome back to ECS. It is Thursday, another day, another game of ECS, or 8, in fact. 4 from Europe, 4 from North America. And we are here in North America, sunny Santa Monica. I've never been on any of these rides on the pier. Have you been on the wheel, Dan, or anything?
No, but I want to. I want to go on.
You want to go on the wheel?
Yeah.
Don't look at me. I'm not going on the wheel with you. Welcome back to the studio. Dan's been had to go back to the US Embassy to get some visa stuff sorted out.
Went to the consulate in Belfast.
Oh, in Belfast. Yeah. How is Belfast? Do you see much of Belfast?
No, I also didn't realize that it seems to be their sole industry is Game of Thrones tourism.
Really?
Because Game of Thrones have their main studio there, and they have like all the castles, and like they do all the shooting there. So that's like basically where all the cast basically live as the show's going on. I had no idea. It's like a really big deal there.
Your microphone is not on, sir.
There we go. Hey,
Welcome
how's
back.
it going? Hey, everybody, how's it going?
Actually, there's a guy in the UK div on FACEIT who works on Game of Thrones.
Oh, really?
And he was like, "Yeah, I know what's happening."
Which guy? What's his
next
name?
season?
Do you remember?
I don't, but I had to like, no spoilers, no spoilers. So fortunately, I didn't get any spoilers. I don't want to know. You don't want to know those kind of things.
You don't.
You definitely don't want to know those kind of things.
I mean, you want to be in the show. You want to feel it, the
Absolutely.
emotions, the ups and downs.
Yeah, it's
Anger.
no fun with spoilers. Although there's this channel on YouTube called Internet Historian, and it just has lots of the funny like 4chan type stuff that's gone on, like the Shia LaBeouf nonsense with the flag. And
Yeah.
one of them is the Harry Potter spoilers, where people were driving past queues outside bookstores saying like Dumbledore dies and stuff like that.
Spoiler alert.
It was really funny, but really bad for them. Well, we are here for Counter-Strike. Let's have a look. We are in Europe, so let's have a look at the leaderboard and see the status quo, where things stand at the moment. Astralis standing tall. They will be in action today in their final 2 matches versus LDLC at opposite ends of the leaderboard. But of course, LDLC have only played 6 games. They've been enjoying the hills, the honey, the cheese in France, but now it's time to get back on the servers. North 9-3. Almost looking like a lock-in for LAN at this point. I mean, how surprising do you think this is, Dan?
It's really cool. Obviously, with this being the first season where we have this crazy big lineup switch with North, it's definitely online. Things are going really well. So, I mean, I don't know if everyone would probably say, is it the honeymoon period? That's what you would probably be thinking of. But it's so far been really exciting to watch them play under Cadian. They're doing a really good job.
Yeah, Faze will be in action versus North today. Now, Faze have 4 games remaining. If they can go 11-7. I think that would be a lock-in for LAN. So these are very important games for both of these teams. North definitely don't want to slide down the table. If you look at North versus Mouse Sports, North have 4 games in hand, but Mouse Sports have equal wins. So if North starts taking L's at this point, then who knows what happens? Don't know if they make it to LAN. Virtus Pro, they're tied with FaZe and Mouse Sports in terms of losses. They've got 5 wins on the board, so it's really, I mean, we just don't know what's going to happen at this point. NIP, let's not forget, they've played 10 matches. They could go shooting up the table. There's so many different things that can still happen this late in the game. So we'll have to see. We can have a look at today's matches and see what is going on. Dust2 coming up twice. North will be playing FaZe and Dust2. Astralis have the pleasure of playing Dust2 versus LDLC. That doesn't look like a good spot for anybody. Astralis and Dust2 look pretty bad at the moment. Any of these maps stick out to you?
I'm interested about the Dust2. I think I want to see some Astralis and what LDLC can bring to the table. Because, we haven't seen much of LDLC.
Yeah.
So I want to see Amanek and Devil Duvek do their thing.
Yeah, they have been a promising team. Someone did write an article recently about the recycling of French players, and a look at Amanek and Devil Duvek being on LDLC, and maybe they should be on one of the bigger brand name teams from France. Well, they have another opportunity to show us what they can do. Have you been impressed with what you've seen from them so far in these 6 matches?
Yeah, I think they look fresh and exciting. The thing with them is that there appears to be a lot of growth, and we have teams like this often in ECS. You'll see suddenly a team coming out of nowhere. They're doing very well. Teams like United might be one of those. But we've had the up and down stories where some of those teams, Luminosity, were actually one of those teams as well, where we saw this a lot of potential, some fresh faces into the from the Brazilian scene, playing against some of the best, and it looks good. The trajectory looks good, but you still don't quite know if it's going to keep going that way, or if they'll just hit this brick wall. If there'll be some big obstacle. So I think with LDLC, that's still the question: is there a limitation to the way that they just played the game, their general approach, and are they sort of getting this far because of the freshness? People not used to playing against this configuration of players, because they're very skilled. So that could maybe be masking what otherwise might not be a successful team, but maybe they will be. So hopefully we'll get the answer to that that by the end of the season.
Yeah, let's not forget, all these matches lead to finals in Arlington, Texas, the esports stadium being built at the moment. I don't know if any of these guys have been there before. Yeah, some of them have, but I definitely haven't. But it was a big cavernous building. It's, I think Hector from Optic did a video there a few weeks ago. It's still a lot of work to be done, but once it is all finished and ready, it will be ECS finals to kind of blast things off there at the esports stadium, Arlington, Texas. Just an Uber ride from Dallas. Get down there. Arlington.csgoleague.com is where you can find yourself some tickets, and don't forget to link your YouTube account to your FACEIT account, and you can get FACEIT points dropped, and then who knows what you can pick up. You can even donate your points if you wanted to. I played 30 games of Counter-Strike in the last month on FACEIT, and I got dropped 12,500 points for that. But you could even get like 250,000 points just by watching the stream.
You could.
It's
And
pretty
also,
awesome.
if you win a lot in the pugs, you get even more.
Yeah.
What?
Sliggy is annoying me because I bought FACEIT points to donate to the UK Div just to be above him on the table. But now he's donated up to like 90,000 points. And I think I'm on like 60 now. So I think I'm back in second place, but I've got a lot more points to accrue. I'm not watching the stream. I'm on the stream, so I'll have to work on the FACEIT.
I did that as well, just to get my name up there. I just just spent a lot of money just to do it. But then, like, where does it end? Where does it end?
I know.
It never ends.
It's like that scene from Peep Show where Mark gets his phone stolen, and he has like little thugs that stole his phone. They like meet up in the coffee shop or whatever, and he's like, okay, how much for the phone? And they're like 20 quid, and he said, okay, well if I give you 20 quid, that's it then. 20 quid, not going to change your mind, because you know that's just this endless cycle that you could just go on forever. And he's like, nope, and so he like gives him the money, and he's like, that's 40 quid now. It's just like this endless cycle. So that's why I'm out of the game now.
Dan is out of the game. And when is the game? Well, the game is due to start very soon. Again, it is North versus FaZe on Dust2 to start with, so we can start focusing in on that. Guardian on Dust2 and Mirage to close out the series there. I have to say, like, I can't stress how much I'm fanboying Guardian right now. It's kind of gross. But he is awesome. He has been for the longest time. When Henry G was here, he was telling us about how he was considered a hacker in Source. They thought he was doing something dodgy with Numlock at first, but now he just continues wrecking people year after year after year.
So good.
Yeah, he is so good. So it's Cadian going up against Guardian on the other side. I think this is going to be a tough task for North.
Yeah, and it's the leaderboard is really interesting in the way that it's developed as well. By having Astralis just not dropping any maps, normally you would expect even the #1 team to have dropped some maps to some people. So it just makes the leaderboard look a bit weird because it looks like everyone's just taking the L's. And so this matchup becomes like very important because North are obviously the other team, like 9-3. That's like a really, really good record. So they're probably a lock-in, but for FaZe, not quite so much. So this is if Guardian was ever needed to have a great performance, it would be this game. And he has, as you said, he's been stepping up in the moments. He's been the guy where when FaZe needs one guy to go off, he has actually been doing it in these ECS matches. So it's a really exciting prospect. And to me, he was the original best AWPer on Dust2 in CSGO for quite some time. For the first like 2 or 3 years, I would always reference people to just watch how Guardian plays at the AWP.
That's a very good point, actually. I think I learn more watching Guardian snipe than I do from any other sniper. I haven't watched enough device demos, in fairness, but like if you look at him going up from short looking onto A site, for example, I do reference this often, mostly at the majors. Like, he'll often stand on the brick, so if he's up against another sniper or whatever, he's probably going to get legged rather than shot in the chest because he's elevated his position. So just little things like that you can learn from watching Guardian on Dust2, and soon you'll be able to because the game is about to kick off. Well, I mean, what do you think? Who do you think is going to take this one?
I'd say take that with some salt. I mean, it's very nice to watch him, but his aim is so awesome that he never even, misses a shot. So
yeah,
like, it's hard to just like, oh, I could do that. I can stand in the same spot. But it's never misses.
North filling in the B bomb sites at the moment. Olofmeister just keeping an eye on things, not doing anything crazy. Once the buy rounds come in, you can expect CTs to be bouncing HEs off the window behind the door, trying to catch people in the usual positions. Valde's got himself a P250. So does AZ. Love me some P250s, but I'm not planted just yet. Still being very patient. Focusing the Glocks on the CTs who will try to catch them off guard. Let's put him in a 5 versus 2 situation. Still not planting a bomb just yet. There it finally goes down. Olofmeister and Nico versus 5.
Well, it's not going to be happening anytime soon. It doesn't seem like they just had enough, and they will just finish off Nico and Olofmeister. And it's been cool actually to see. I think recently on Reddit there was a graph which was the lifetime stats of each FaZe player over time, and it was really interesting because Nico was obviously consistently just right at the top throughout the the entire time he's been on the team. And the interesting thing there is that I never really noticed it with Nico, and I think it's because we just expect him to always do so well, that him just doing well, which is just all the time. It just doesn't. I'm like, well, it's.
Take it for granted.
Exactly, there's nothing really to note here. But speaking of which, the bomb's been lost! Oh my god, this is the absolute worst possible thing that could have happened.
Yeah, you don't want to go first with the bomb right through a smoke like that, and your team's not even there to help you out. Maybe it's part of the strat.
It had to be a miscommunication. It was Valde as well, of all people. Oh no.
It's still recoverable. AZ's got good position, actually. Considering the time on the clock, they can really close the net as wide as possible. They have smokes. They've only got one Molotov, however, so it's going to be hard to deal with, say, the car position, for example. A lot of things that could be happening.
This is quite a rescue mission, isn't it? This is like, you know, the beginning of a Mario game. Gotta find Princess Peach. She's the bomb here in this instance. Don't actually know where to go with this, but beyond that, but I'm trying to say this is quite the rescue mission. They've got so much time to do it, but they are running out of time. They've used so much just clearing the map.
Yeah, they're taking this too slow. And FaZe has still got 2 smoke grenades, so at least there's only 1 player in the tunnel in Cadian. Going to try and drop a pop flash. 30-second mark. He's with the scout as well, so the guns are in the right places. They know where one of the players is. The Molotov must have been deployed somewhere. 22 seconds now, and really got to get going. Smoking off the guy in the corner, but at that point, with him smoked off, they're probably going to have to plant the bomb. 15 seconds, and they're taking too long!
It's getting very awkward, isn't it? Going for the elimination at this point, and it's not looking all that great. 6 seconds now to get the last 2 players. Gade by himself. He's doing a good job, but not good enough. There's just too much to handle, and that will be that. North with a critical mistake on the 2nd round after winning the pistol, and it all falls apart.
Yeah, not only of the obvious bomb thing, but at the retake in B, they had, what, I think 2 smokes and 2 FBs, 2 flashbangs, and instead of actually maybe using it all at once in one coordinated attack, we have the B guy tossing it way earlier, and then the outside guy didn't really toss anything, so, or like a little more coordination when they explode in that B attack, like, you know.
Oh, there's so many targets now for Nico. He will do reasonable damage. No one has Kevlar of the players who remain, so while he has dropped an SMG, it's not the worst thing in the world. Olofmeister spots the cross. There are 2 CTs going back into the B bomb site, looking for a fast reaction, a fast rotation on FaZe. It seems North will reset the situation. Likely to be 2 per site, worst case scenario at this point. But will Olofmeister spot through the doors, or will he just keep his off angle? Again, with 4 players alive for North, they have the explosion factor, which will probably keep him further away from the doors.
We're going to start group up towards this long. Do we have AZ in the middle? Probably listen for some feet over rotations. Alert the team if he's going to go. CT's rotating, but FaZe ain't budging. Here we go. Rain's going to run into a wall of people just any second now.
Yes, bring the eco-frags to me. Yes.
Peace.
I do wonder, you know, speaking of the info and so on, what do you guys think of the pumpkin footballs? Because you know, you kick those and they do make some noise and they're all over the place, you know.
James, what do you think about the pumpkin football?
Oh, yeah, I've been massively triggered by that every single day. I actually released a video, which would have been 10 minutes ago, with 2 really bad examples of
bad examples, or
well, good examples of why it is.
Why it sucks.
It's so bad, yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty ridiculous. And I'm surprised it's still in the game. Isn't it after Halloween?
Yeah.
Wait, what day is
Yeah,
it?
but
Is
they
it first?
tend to lag on removing things like this.
That's unfortunate. Value, interesting buy. They only buy 1 AK. Kerrigan's taken out, and just like that, North will take 2. Rand's gonna have to try to make something happen. He's gonna sneak up this ramp, he gets shot up. Forcing him to fall back. It looks like it might have to be a save for FaZe, if they could save their guns.
Oh dear, this is looking really rough, isn't it? I mean, for both teams, really, at this point. Rain with 17 HP and 1 teammate versus 4 players. If they can boost behind the smoke, then that would certainly help. But look how slow North are doing it. They're just fishing for information at this point. Valde making sure the site is clear. And with the resmoke, I think they've really got a boost behind this. Oh my god, Guardian. Okay, 2 versus 2, and Cadian with the AWP, it's going to be awkward for them to trade. KRB's made his way to the site, but again, they don't really know what's going on. All sound has been cut now. So the opportunity to boost behind the smoke has gone. And with no smokes remaining, unless they pick one up in this mid area, we may have a master stroke if KRB can plant for the platform. Rain has picked up a smoke.
Yeah, as you say, like if that's a long plant, if they just go for a long plant here, then that's pretty bad news for FaZe. But they're waiting for so long. They're waiting for the FaZe to do something. When you can always put yourself in this position where now you've got no time to plant the bomb and you get into like a really awkward situation. But he's going for the save plant, and there it is, the spot. Now Cadian has to push forwards, goes towards the car position. Still worried about long, you can see. Meanwhile, KRB seemingly doesn't have info. Both players are there, so Cadian's still not looking in the right place. And, oh, he's going to miss his shot as well. Wow, what a retake. Guardian with the 4K, bringing it home. But you've got to say North had some chances there.
North did have some chances. They played that 2-on-2 kind of interesting. Couldn't really help each other out because the bomb planter was kind of an awkward spot. But, you know, that's like that's one of the things on Dust2. You plant for long. And so there's going to be one person, you know, in the bomb site, one guy way out long, so it's hard to have that time to exchange kills.
That was, yeah, I guess because maybe because there was no Kevlar, they were scared of like someone jumping with a gun trying to shoot the plant. But I don't know, I think with the AWP, you've got to go for the plat plant. Now Guardian's being gifted an AWP, they'll buy a second one for Nico. 3 AWPs on the server at present as North move towards the short positions. So Nico will be holding down the long area. Guardian's on B, left on his own. That's a very scary prospect.
All very quiet. Here is a pretty standard default played out here by North. They've got the map control they need to do whatever they want, and you can see they're positioned quite nicely towards the catwalk area to go for an A attack if that's how they plan to end the round. It would always be nice though to get out, as we can see here, just bait out some more grenades from the CTs, as well as also try to establish exactly which positions the CTs are playing from, as that can tell you what the setup might look like and how to attack it. But we'll see the North go for the 2-3 A splits. Kerrigan with his multicolored org waiting next to the smoke though, so this is going to be an explosive one. Oh, there you go. That's a great start for FaZe.
Oh no! Too many scroll wheel. Oh, they're lining up for Nico, but he's only good for one. Rain in an awkward spot now. The off angle, very nice from him. That's the bomb delayed. 15 seconds to go and retrieve that bomb. That's a huge problem. And Rain can just play the delay game now. He doesn't need to take a fight at this point. He needs to hide as long as possible. 7 seconds, and it's already too late to win the round. Guardian can just bide his time on long. No need to peek anything, and they'll win the round by timeout. Ooh, don't peek. Oh! Oh dear. He had no idea what Guardian was.
Unfortunate for North, but when we saw what Kerrigan do, I feel like the people who are labeled as support, they have this need to maybe always toss their nades, and in that spot where Kerrigan was pushed up long by himself behind a smoke, there's no reason for him to toss a nade and run backwards. I think at that point he's have to gun out and get those kind of kills. If you look at if you put anyone else in that spot, like a Nico, he's not tossing nades, he's going for those headshots. So maybe it's that role kind of maybe messed him up there.
I think it was unfortunate timing in part. He probably thinks he's safe to just drop a HE in case there are people lurking behind the smoke waiting for it to go.
That's true. I guess I could see the.
Yeah, so I think he was. I think in fairness to him, I think he was. It was just unfortunate timing.
It's still not a good move though, in my opinion. Like just you're by yourself, you're lurking.
He's very exposed. Yeah, there's no corner for him to pop behind to pull his gun out or anything.
And also with Nico getting a frag towards short, if you just get one kill at that point, even if they gain the grounds, it's still a pretty big advantage for the CTs. And well, either way, Inner FaZe are doing really well at this point. There were so many rounds which made this look like North would have a big advantage in this Dust2, but what we're seeing obviously is FaZe just clutching it out. There was that second round disaster that we saw where North really, is a round that North should be winning, And Kaden will cause some damage here. That's a beautiful pickup. Gets shut down, but then we have that round where Guardian saves it with a quad kill when this eco round goes really well for the North. Another one where there's a 2v2 where you probably would see North winning that most of the time, but FaZe managed to steal that round away. And all of a sudden, it's 5-1, and the economy for FaZe is beginning to... Well, it's actually terrible right now, but it should... They win this round. If they win this round, everything will be fine.
It's all about the rounds win sometimes. Like these long takes, flashes over, bombarded.
There are 4 CTs here. How many will be spotted on the radar? Maybe it doesn't matter now. Not really in position to do anything about that. North, we've got Gade moving into the short position, but they can quickly rotate back to A. Big investment from FaZe, and it's paid off pretty well. They haven't lost a single player. They've still got Guardian in position towards B. They've got CTs with off angles in mid. Olaf Meister will see KRB's legs first, if he stayed in his position. Ooh, now no one's reaching the spot.
So balls to do that. Just hide in that angle, to let the person walk by. I feel like I always get checked.
Yeah, it's such a cool spot for a T to take. That's really nice to see. I really like how FaZe had a good guess here, stacking forward towards long. Previously with the MSL North, it was a big comfort opener for them to just hammer long, but as we see Gade dropping from short, he's going to even up the numbers here. 3 versus 3 with 45 seconds left, and North now starting to rally themselves towards the A-bomb site. And there's still Carrigan left there on the car position. If he's able to delay them with this AUG, then that will do the damage. The AUG is actually perfect.
Oh, it's a team flash as well.
I was wondering where that came from.
Yeah, Gade threw it towards the car position, but the timing just didn't work out for him. Carrigan buying time now, just hiding in plain sight. Gade knows he's there. Can he get past the angle though before he gets into a 1v2 situation? He can even plant the bomb off angle, so he's not exposed to the car area. Now this is a very tough spot. There he is, finally Carrigan, sorry. But Guardian will finish Gade off with the P250. And it's another round in the bag for FaZe.
I think Guardian dies there if the Molotov doesn't touch Gade, because Gade looked like he was on for that.
He was a very good spot to dodge any op shots. He could just kind of dance around the box. Very difficult for the operators to kind of advance in catwalk and hit that shot. Carrigan, I'm glad that he had his gun out. Or made that point last round, gets 3 kills. I mean, come on, makes me look better.
That team flash, man.
And the team, well, that didn't help. There you go. See?
Looked like he actually threw it himself and then flashed himself, actually.
Another take of long from North. This time we won't have 4 people here for FaZe. Changing up their approach from round to round. Always good to do on a CT side, and Nico will win the duel versus AZ. But they'll have to assume that long has been compromised, and indeed it has. North will have to wait for that smoke to dissipate. Make sure nobody's close. They'll have to clear out the car position as well. You see that smoke on the site itself. On old Dust2, you could be on the slope where that box is, which used to be wider, and you'd have a pretty much a one-way smoke. Very hard to see someone's head there, although you are a lot more exposed on new Dust2.
I'm glad, because one-way smokes is annoying. Remember back at Source, you have to toss 2 smokes in one spot, because people would just sit and smoke. Get out of there.
I still remember the Source days where the smokes would take 20 seconds to bloom. That was so frustrating. And it's like Kirby's probably somewhat frustrated as well. Nothing much going right here for North so far. Gade, though, looking to save the day as he starts to get the kills coming in for North, pushing into the A-bomb site. Very nice positioning here. Right behind the box, Eco is being quite the annoyance, but Gade is he just doesn't care. Just barrels through everyone.
Olaf Meister sees nobody peeking from long. He'll create some space for himself. That does give the game away. He's got to move fast now. Grenade towards the goose position. In with the flash. There's one. Where's the other one? Gade still alive. One for the ace now. Guardian still has some cover from that smoke grenade. Gade hiding behind Swats. Oh my god, that's disgusting from Guardian. But Cadian's got the final frag on this occasion for the 2nd round for North.
Man, Guardian is an animal. Man, who has the stones to just turn around 180, shoot in the smoke, just to hopefully, get a random off kill? It's so wild. You see a great round by Gade. He's been doing really well on the entry, killing 4 North on this map, just finding the pockets and holes in the FaZe defense. Previous round before that, he dropped spawn, got some kills. So big impact from Gade so far.
And you can look at how difficult this has actually been for FaZe, how many rounds have come so closely, just losing one and immediately the money's just gone. And, oh, hello, that's a nice shot from Rain. Guardian's going in there as well, trying to also pick down an additional player, and North look to be securing this round, but the question really is about how much damage FaZe can do, how many weapons they can take away, because the money's not good here for North, so every additional kill FaZe can get here has big value for FaZe moving forward. So Nico's running what we heard, and Kebby surely has this. Oh, maybe not, because Nico's there with the Deagle.
Yeah, I think his reload gave his position away. But no gun for Nico. North win by wipeouts. And the money still sucks for FaZe. 6-3. Their lead starting to dwindle. It's been a difficult game so far for both teams, I think it's fair to say. North especially considering the string of rounds for FaZe, 6 in a row. Although North have had some success with the bomb plants. They planted it, of course, in the previous round. Doesn't count so much as it's Nico, but there we go. Game firmly in their hands for the time being, or maybe not. Rain with the Deagle. Really would love to pick up that AK, but there's too many targets, too many man. Ooh, if he had one more bullet, who knows? 3v3 all of a sudden. And it's awkward. That grenade, that gun rather, is surely too deep for the T's to protect it. Which means that FaZe are going to pick up some rifles.
Yeah. Kirby, though, he could end this. Good flying coming in. Oh, they haven't spotted him, but he misses the shots. And that is a big problem because now it's just a bunch of heads dancing around. They'll take him down without receiving any damage themselves. And KD now is forced to go for the plant. And Valde is not even in the game. He's basically AFK at this point.
He's playing matchmaking right now. He's trying to get those AFK kills.
Does he go too long? With the numbers game, surely... Oh, this is so awkward. He sees the boost. There's one taken out. There's another one's there. Spots him crossing.
Ooh.
Gets his bell rung. Valde coming up the short position now. He hears the footsteps from Guardian. Surely now Guardian's going to have an AWP if he gets close enough. Molotov towards the site might be the GG though. There is a smoke down, but there's no kit for Guardian. And Valde won't give him the kill. It's not planted for Valde. But it looks like the round will go to North. Close one. That was an eco, let's not forget.
Guardian gets an AWP out of it. Why not? FaZe. Oh, go ahead.
No,
go ahead.
no, you go. No, you're the
score.
guest.
I was going to say 6-4 FaZe. I was just filling in a little space here, but you got something to say? You say it, Dan. You don't let me stop you.
I don't remember now, so...
Oh, no.
James, do you have anything to say?
All right, how about this? Since we're in a timeout here, what do you think about the new money system? So, lately I've been thinking, so last couple days, especially in the EU scene, a lot of teams are still buying on the second round instead of maybe saving it and buying on the third round, which would be guaranteed rifles, guaranteed an AWP now, even with the new money system. How do you, I mean, you think, like, you like that teams are still forced buying on that second round?
I think for me, it's it depends on the matchup and the map and the team. I feel like it's quite situational because I think that there are some spots. The most obvious example for me is we know that Astralis on CT side on Inferno, their force buy shenanigans are incredible. The way that they're able to use smokes to delay their opponent, how good they are with the CZs, and having armor and defuse kits to back that up with, it almost looks like a gun round. And to off balance the other team's economy by winning that round is. And when it's so likely with the likes of Astralis, absolutely go for it. If you've got a plan, then go for it. But that's really the question. Yeah. If it's thought through correctly by teams.
And you know what he said, James? He said kit. And all that.
Kit?
He said kit in there.
Yeah, the Bears really likes his kits.
What's that?
Kits.
Oh, is this
yesterday
the thing?
I saw a lot of rounds where no CTs had kits.
Oh, okay.
Multiple rounds. Like, come on, just buy one kit for the team, please.
That is really weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like you buy one for each side of the map.
Yeah. Right? Yeah, just buy one kit.
Well, we've got a mid to B situation now. Rain spots one. He's got so much good cover here as well. The bomb's being dropped, looking for a third. AZ will trade, but this is disastrous for North. Again, you can spray that position as well. It is, those boxes are penetrable, but it does give the game away some extra warning to the CT, so maybe the aggressors don't feel like doing it so often. Cadian missing a shot. Can't miss too many of those on Dust2.
I'd say there's been quite a few rounds here where the calling from FaZe, the reads, I should say, from FaZe have been really spot on. Like knowing which rounds to, stack 4 players towards the A-long position, having the player on the what I tend to call it like the anti-B split box boost, or the anti-B split boost. There in CT, like that's because it's such a strong boost, and as you say, James, it's people rarely try to wallbang it, and it seemed as though that was very unexpected. Rain didn't even have a silencer in that position, which would have been quite fun to see, but didn't need it.
Nice second shot from Nico. Pre-fire, of course. T's were in the wrong place at the right time. And that will be a max value round for FaZe since they don't lose any players. Last 2 rounds of the first half now, and Cajun will probably be AWP and no Kevlar. 7 for 9 at present. Guardian 12 for 3. Nico 8 for 10. Stats of these snipers. Kerrigan technically doing some sniping as well with the AUG. 10 for 8.
Was he a sniper way back in the day? I don't remember.
He was,
Yeah,
yeah.
why he's using all
1.6
those
is really,
rifles
really
all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it certainly helps.
I remember that now.
Great shot from Nico. Vintage Dust2 action going on. He did see the other player there. The Molotov, will it come fast enough? So, that, again, some counter grenades from a CT side, in this case FaZe, behind that smoke, because if you look at a big clan, for example, they like to set up grenades, like the Molotovs, the ramp and so on, behind that smoke, and often you'll find that the defensive side doesn't have like HEs and things at that particular point in time, but if they do, then I think they can be very devastating as a counter. Olofmeister loses his duel. That's just the first kill though for North, and they're still a man down.
There's the ball, but it's not anyone's way.
Only missing that one. No, oh,
my
in
God.
the face. It's always the face.
It is always the face.
Whenever it's like an awkward flick shot with Guardian, it's just always the face.
I have a theory in this game that there's a built-in aimbot for that extra random
What
wow
is that?
factor.
I don't even know which one he killed looking at that. I honestly don't know which person he killed. Okay, on the right-hand side, but jeez.
Have you ever hitting it in a CS game where you just randomly shoot and, you know, swing your mouse and you're like, how did I just get a headshot? Has that ever happened to you guys?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Isn't that weird?
I got a flick on Overpass A site once where I saw a guy peek and I got flashed almost at exactly the same time, and I flicked him completely blind in the head. I was very satisfied with that. I'm sure I even tweeted Fallen like, look what I did. Like he's my dad or something. Daddy Fallen, look at me. I've done that a few times to him actually. I almost feel sorry for him. Just want to be like you, Fallen. Oh, Valde. He's so good. He's so good.
There's lurk smokes. Always dangerous on the B-bomb site. The Deagle's always dangerous. Now, how do they save this one, FaZe? They've in this matchup, they've had a few dodgy situations resembling this and still come out okay, thanks to Guardian actually. Meister will spot one. Spots the rotation, more importantly, trying to go double back out of the tunnels through towards mid. Olofmeister's having none of that. It's been good seeing the resurgence of Olofmeister's form, and he will just have an easy one here, like shooting fish in a barrel. And in comes Nico to finish it off. And there it is. Speed to 50 does the job.
That's how you do it. You just go one by one against Olofmeister and then run backwards towards long A. That's how you lose a round.
Get clapped in the face by Nico. North have they've had some good rounds here or there, but it does seem generally that FaZe are really on top of things. Since Epicenter, they definitely have looked a lot better, honestly. Like you can see the confidence that has come from them having a successful event after being in a massive period of downs.
Yeah. I think it's definitely interesting with Nico IGLing as well, but we'll hold on to that. Just having little kissies in the smoke.
Oh dear, Guardian with many targets, a headshot of course, and another one from Guardian. Would you expect anything less?
Boy,
3 kills from him, doing a lot on his lonesome and leaving AZ in a 1 versus 3. Rain's been taken out, plant for double stack. Kerrigan and Nico remain. There are Molotovs. They've got 2 mollies. They could put one behind this box here, where you'd often find a HE on a retake from the CTs. But they're not using either of them just yet. Charging in, and AZ will get a 2-man spray down. I don't know why they wouldn't use the Molotovs, but there we go.
Dude, Guardian is... Oh my god, he's so bloody good.
He's been
so
on fire
good.
this entire week too. Just hitting flicks all day.
Can we see that again, that sequence? The Guardian sequence, no? Oh, I think we have it. There it is.
Oh.
Yes, in the head.
Always
In the
head.
Molotov,
Always the
roasting,
He
and
actually
gets
hits
it.
that third shot. That's so nuts.
He's taking one for the team. He's going in all the way. The captain of the ship going down with the ship.
So good. How do they lose the round after that? I don't understand. Well, pistol round, jumping backwards. That's actually really annoying to defend against. A 3 versus 3 though, so still a chance for both teams here on this B-bomb side.
I love it. I love it.
That is pretty smart. It is harder to hit people in the head from the back.
Yeah,
from the back.
Jumping as well.
Well then, Guardian, can he do the same with the Glock as he can do with the AWP? He's got 2 more targets. More headshots to be found on his own now. 17 bullets in the magazine. Dancing around for the 1v1s, but the pistol round will go to North.
North taking both pistols. So far, nothing too crazy. Both B takes on T side pistols. Just keeping it simple. I don't know if people.
Ooh.
Pistol rounds are really weird.
Nico saved in pistol rounds.
Ooh. We've seen that before, and we're wondering if it was a mistake, but Nico's probably going for that guaranteed AWP on the 3rd round.
He could buy an AK if he wanted. He bought AK on. It's something that I wanted to see teams doing on the T side, because if you guarantee that bomb plant, and let's say you know three people eco it, then there's 3 people with $3,500, and if they get kills, I mean, $300 in addition to that, it's pretty like that offers up a ridiculously strong 2nd round. I mean, that's what the CTs get for winning the round.
Actually, yesterday we saw against Faze, or the other day with Guardian, he bought an AWP on the 3rd round after they were down 0-2, and he still had 2,000 left over. After buying AWP, armor, and some utility, after they're down 0-2. That's crazy. That's just nuts.
Bosh!
I like it. I think I have to say that I like it, because I feel like we get more Counter-Strike. There's more decisions.
I like it too. Yep.
There's and so I feel like the better teams who can make the better decisions will get more chances to win the game if they are the better team, which I think is really awesome to watch. I think it stands to raise the level, and it also means that I think it decreases the some of the variance that we have from forced by rounds, generally speaking, just because it's just more of the game now, if that makes any sense.
Makes a lot of sense. I think that's a very awesome point. It hands them a choice to not always go forced round by in the 2nd round. You know, you have an option to do something different. I really like that too.
So you can do the same, and you can do more. And I feel like if you eco in and buy, you're in a worse situation, because I think you're more likely to lose and then be on an eco round when you would be on a buy round with a better buy if you full sport after losing the pistol. So you can do the same as before, or you can do more, which can put you in a better or worse situation. So indeed, Dan's made very good points. Guardian will move forward through the flames. So he's taken long with ease. In the meantime, Kyabi's been very aggressive. He's only got W, and now he's got no more keys on the keyboard because he's dead.
I love this. Just the very fast timing. You hit short around 140, so you just run basically all the way from T-spawn, more or less, with the cover of the smoke. You try to catch these CTs off guard, and there's timing windows where they will be their rotations. They just can't get back in time, and the site player is isolated, as we saw. And this just works out super well. This punishes North massively, and they're in a spot where they probably just have to save here, because there's no way to get back in at this point, especially with smokes left on the Ts.
Did KD have an AWP? I was having a sip of water. I didn't see it.
No, he had a rifle, I believe. I'm pretty sure.
So another point on the eco rounds now. I was going to say that people who win on pistol, I'm surprised offer, especially a map like Dust2, you need AWPs, more USP saving on the 2nd round instead of buying a submachine gun or a rifle, because you can usually cover the AWP on the next round. So, and Ts, have a chance of not buying anything. So I was kind of curious that no one in North opted to save for an AWP on that round. Especially a map like Dust2, I think it's imperative that helps.
Yes, yeah, I agree with you completely. And look at North here, just putting that standard pressure onto the A1 position. Olofmeister defensive. The flash is coming, but Olofmeister's having none of it. Easily dealing with 2 players, and now it's desperation, a boost on Elevator to get Valde into position to maybe do something. I don't know if they can hold this though. So many nades left.
Where is the second one? There it is. Oh dear, he's going to get sprayed down surely. And now what, Valde? Point of no return. No kills for North. Not looking good for them at the moment. I think Dust2 was always going to be an issue because Guardian, but let's not forget the rest of the team. Olofmeister with 2 kills, Rain with 2 kills.
Another quick point as well about why I think the money situation is cool is because there's certain maps which are more open where you don't necessarily care about the AWP as much. Let's say a Cache or maybe even a Mirage or something, where you're actually okay to buy those M4s and not have as much utility or not have the AWP. But let's say the force buy might not be a great option. So then now you always have like a good option, because as you say, like, there are multiple options at least. So I like that it does allow you to tailor the strats for a map, and it doesn't feel like we're waiting until round 4 for Counter-Strike to happen, because sometimes it just feels like that.
You remember how upset people were on Twitter when they heard that? It's like, what are you guys hating for? You don't even know what you're talking about. And they didn't, and now they know, and now they kind of like it, but they won't admit that.
Yeah, yeah, it's interesting, because I like the idea of it, and now getting to see it play out, I like it even more.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But I think it just made a lot of sense.
Now it's time to lower the kit price.
That is an interesting one, yeah. There's also nothing wrong necessarily with, let's say, the developers making a change like that and then changing to something different in the future to just see how it impacts gameplay or balance.
Changing up the meta, keeping it fresh.
Exactly,
See the same thing day in, day out. Complain about it, we change, you complain about it. Come on. Give us a break.
6-round lead for Faze. Olofmeister outside the doors for the time being. Showing some presence, and Valde thinks better of moving further.
It's actually really important that Valde pushed there, because FaZe took short at like 142. So again, just like they're putting this crushing pressure onto North by taking the short position really fast. But well, that's a good way to handle it.
Now what's the plan? Are they discussing what to do? Kind of feel like Nico's thinking a bit, standing in the corner, just in case anyone's on short. Mind's processing. Man, I remember when Pentium 4 was the bee's knees.
Thunderbirds processor.
My CPU had a turbo button on the case. You hit the turbo button and the light lights up. Probably didn't do anything.
Well, there's that smoke I'm talking about. We'll see the Molotov on the ramp position. Canadian, easy one for him, but where does he choose to defend from? In front of the car, trying to jump on the car, misses jump. Kiabi taken out. Canadian's got a lot to do now. Misses the flick. Then hits that one. Bomb on site now. Does he go back again after the shot from Guardian? I think he may have been tagged there. Could be a boost. Oh god, this is awkward for everyone, for all concerned.
Oh my goodness.
There's Guardian with one. There's another jump. There's so many targets. Which one does he go for?
That's a crazy round right there.
That was so funny.
Caden was just cooking in that Molotov. He had 1 HP leaving that Molotov.
That's a really good frag there. And that's very needed as well. I love this back and forth that you see. Like, FaZe take the initiative. They say, look, we just took short at like 142. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do about it? Valde pushes long, doesn't see anything. Cadian has to then try to check. Someone has to do something. They have to find out the info. Gets the frag. I can't even talk about it because another fast round from FaZe here as Rain goes straight into mid. Very fast timing. FaZe are really liking the super fast timings. I like that too. I think it's awesome on Dust2 on the T side.
Mixes it up. Changes the pace up.
Nice.
See, looks like FaZe is going to try to do a mid-split here. We only have one person out middle, so it looks like Rain might be more of a lurker than actually trying to entry or do anything. That FaZe. Always a little different. And just like that, he gets the entry kill. the opposite of what I say.
It's like a burst that converted into a spray, which is pretty cool to see. Okay, he's trying to make the right decision, gets himself a 1v1. He knows there's another player there, falls back. He knows one is lurking. Guardian taking Cadian out. Maybe the bomb was spotted, maybe not. Now Gate has fallen to pieces, and that leaves Valde coming in from the tunnels. Does he have an idea of where these players are? It seems he does. Avoids the shot from Guardian. That smoke might be the GG. Indeed, it's time to run away. 14 rounds for FaZe.
That round was all rain right there. Staying alive in the middle, getting the pick and B, pretty much being a nuisance. But he's still staying alive. He's still passive, so North has to respect that. They have to check corners. They have to take it slower on the rotate. And sometimes, you know, the best part is just, or the best move to do is stay alive. You don't have to do anything crazy. You don't have to run all the way up to B and help out B. And Rain is a perfect example of what you can do with so little.
And one really cool thing about this approach from FaZe is that we knew that their T sides have been really awful up until Epicenter. They're just really struggling with Nika calling it seems like to fix those T sides. And one thing about what they're doing here is that they're doing something quite simple, but it's effective. Really fast timings up short, multiple rounds. And what that does is it means that North have to have the A site itself and Cat sort of covered at the early timings in the round. So then if they go and hit mid really fast, there will not be a defense there. So they can just get that positioning for free. And the CTs will have to rotate and be out of position. And now they are taking initiative and playing really fast. I feel like I don't really get time to talk about these things as, wow, okay. Smoke.
It's a circus over there.
Yeah, it's smoking off dark really early into the rounds. Look at these rotations.
Like,
Wall of smoke. CT, the T's are crossing, FaZe are crossing. Gate through the smoke, but Nico's down on a ramp to stop any flanks, but they'll have to attempt it. They have to go for this. It's going to be carnage, and it is all in favor of FaZe. 5 versus 2. Valde and Cadian remain. Going for the long plants. Here's Olofmeister, but they're saving what little they have, North. They'll be fighting against match point sooner rather than later. 24 for 8, Guardian. 24 for 8! He's died 8 times.
That's insane, actually.
North have won 8 rounds, he's died 8 times.
And there've been so many close rounds as well that that's just actually ridiculous.
Guardian
Jeez.
dies, FaZe loses the round. It's correlation right there.
That's amazing. Even though it's 14-8, that could suggest that it's very one-sided, but I feel like this has been very close in many situations. I've been on a knife edge, and North has not really come out the better. And if we remember back to round 2 as well, where they just sort of gave the bomb away for free and gave the round for free.
They pretty much lost in the game almost, or set the tone for them losing the game.
Yeah, it hurt pretty badly, didn't it?
It's one of the, like, that's a huge mistake. Five long. All right, I like it. Gamble stacking. Fortunately, FaZe is going to do the opposite. It's going to 4-up Cat. And now there's going to be a clash in A.
All these Jules' favor though. Cadian with a scout. He's got some grenades coming his way. A lot of grenades, in fact. A lot of Molotovs. All the fire in the world. And someone brave enough to throw one behind that smoke. Cadian behind the logs. Or the bales, or whatever the hell they are. Anyway, 3 versus 2. Still no upgrades really for FaZe. AZ picking up the scout now. And the remainder of FaZe will mostly head towards the B bomb site. Carragher not too shy to have a peek with a scope of his own. AZ on 3 HP now. Oh dear. Love me some Kree. Carragher not shy. And they will go, they know where he is, so I like this. Like, well, now it's awkward maybe because Nico is low with AWP, but they know where AZ is. So they're happy to just go and frag him as opposed to going to B and not knowing where he is. Oh, does Guardian hear that? I don't think so.
Did he Molotov first to just have the as fast as possible smoke bloom? Because that's the only reason I can think that he would do that. Throw the Molotov and then the smoke immediately.
A combination of that and maybe to prevent AZ from getting too good of a position, maybe. I mean, I think it's a combination of both. I think the smoke and to stop AC from like maybe running through too fast.
He's 1v2 with 6 bullets in the CZ. He has no kit and I's dead. 16-8 for FaZe. A big scoreline versus North on Dust2 and a much needed win for FaZe.
I can imagine North being really tilted after that second round, and it just ruined your team mentality of the match. I mean, you win pistol against FaZe, you're probably pretty hyped up, you're feeling good, and then you do something ridiculous as to drop the bomb in B all alone pretty much, and just really end up just changing the pace just like that. It just got to be so detrimental to someone's mentality.
And I really liked what we saw out of FaZe. Obviously, Guardian was always just doing massive damage, but I think consistently we saw FaZe taking initiative and generally being a step ahead of North and having Guardian in the clutch moments. Like we had another early situation where Guardian had to get a 4K against an eco round where North were rushing the long position, got loads of kills. It was like a 2v5 or something. Guardian takes it down to a 2v2. North lose out on that clutch thanks to Guardian. And that was another big turning point, I think, where North could have had much more of a T site.
Absolutely menacing play from Guardian. Fitting that AWP gets the last kill. Guardian 25 kills, 25 for 8. Quite a standout performance from him. I thought he would be the X factor for this match. I think it's fair to say he was, but credit to the rest of the team as well. Well spread out kills, 21 for Nico, 20 for Rain. Yeah, I think it's a solid W for FaZe. That's one of their last 4 matches. They've got 3 matches to go. The next one's going to be Mirage coming up after the break, but that's definitely the right foot forward. North can take an L here or there. We won't damage them too much, but of course they will want to win the next match as well. It will be Mirage. It will be North versus FaZe. We will see you after the break.